This is Bastion of Steel boss number 3. The fight starts with some adds, and it's important that the robots, which are called RDUs, get interrupted when they cast rocket volley. These interrupts are critical to the group's survival, so don't miss any. We choose roles with good AoE damage to do the interrupts so that single target roles can target high priority enemies. The players interrupting the left and right RDU have been pre-selected and are marked with a left half of a heart and a right half. A third player is designated with a full heart and will interrupt the middle RDU when we get 3 of them. Remember, if you're not assigned an interrupt target or your target is not up, you should be targeting one of the RDUs and helping to back up interrupt. And actually, it's a good idea to assign backups so everyone doesn't back up on the same target. While we're burning these, I want to point out my K alert, the green icon with a tree that says you can range. This is to tell me when I have a buff that makes my range very large, and as far as I know, it covers the arena. We'll use that several times. This next wave has no RDUs, but you'll notice the ghosts that add in. These will charge and explode and should be intercepted by the tanks. The ghosts do not need to be damaged. DPS needs to stay well away from the ghosts. Okay, now the mobs are down and we're just watching the ghosts get intercepted. If one of the ghosts gets past the tanks and is coming at you, dodge to the side. This wave has 3 RDUs that need to be interrupted and another even larger giant robot. AoE rolls are doing AoE damage while interrupting, and single target rolls should be hitting the giant robot. Then we have these red rings to stay out of. I found I need to dance in and out of the center. Some rolls seem to be able to hit from out near the dirt area and can avoid the rings. In this fight, our DPS was so high you didn't get to see the multiple rings. And now we're switching position for the fire tower phase. All the DPS get in the dirt, and the tower makes an expanding fire circle that you have to jump over while DPSing the tower. The tower goes down and we get some more ghosts. That was a practice jump. Okay, we get a couple adds get mixed in with the ghosts. Notice we have the range buff, so keep your distance because of the ghosts. And by the way, one reason we're keeping our distance is so we have time to react if a ghost should slip by the tanks. Now, while we wait for the ghosts to finish, I want to add a note about the range buff. You actually get this buff by hitting an RDU. Single target rolls need to keep this in mind, since you may have to specifically target an RDU to get the buff, while AoE rolls don't really need to worry about it since you hit everything. Okay, in this next wave, one of the adds is ranged and usually ends up being closer to us than the rest of the mobs, which are near the tank. As a rogue, I fire through the ranged one and hit all of them. After this group goes down, things get downright active. We're going to get 3 fire towers and an RDU plus some more adds, so everyone is going to move back to give us time to react. Alright, so everybody in the dirt. The tanks are going to pull everything near the nearby tower, and we AoE everything including the tower while jumping over the fire circles. You'll notice I and some others jump the last 2 circles at the same time. This seems easier to me, but you can also jump one and then jump sideways over the other one. When the first tower is down, the tank drags the RDU to the second tower, and we DPS them both while jumping 2 more fire circles. And that's what I meant by jump one and then jump sideways over the other. Okay, when this tower is almost down, we're going to get 2 more fire circles, like that, and then we're going to head straight to the third tower and kill that one. And next starts the boss phase. So here when the tower goes down, everybody needs to stay out of the center while the tank picks up the boss, and then we'll move to our marked positions once the tank has aggro. We're all hitting the boss, and the first thing that happens is we carefully purge buffs from the boss, and these were accumulated if we killed the early adds too slowly. The raid leader will call out purges one at a time because each purge damages the whole raid quite a bit. I think this run only had 1 buff, but there could be 3 or 4. From here on, everyone with an interrupt should be watching for the boss to cast Legion's Pull right there. That cast must always be interrupted. Next we'll see Static Pulse, which is why we're in this circle. We have to stay 5 meters apart or people will die. And this next part is called the dance because we also have to move away from and towards the center to avoid some red rings. Okay, next we'll see Static Pulse, and hopefully everyone is still in a good spot. There it is. Now we're just DPSing the boss and interrupting. In the next phase, you're going to see what looks like wooden crates show up in random locations. You're going to hit one crate one time with a small amount of damage. This will give you a range buff. If you destroy the crates, they won't be available for others or for you later on when your buff wears off. We have about another 30 seconds of hitting the boss, and we'll let this play out. I will mention at one point I actually turned to my right and hit one of the crates in order to refresh my buff, so you can watch for that. Okay, here come the crates. We're going to pick one, hit it once, and then watch for the red rings. Then we're backing up while continuing to hit the boss. Don't worry, the backing up is slow. You will have time as long as you move to the edge of the next ring. And at some point, you're going to think we're done, but there is one more ring. We get pretty close to the wall. At this last ring, you see I stay forward, and I'm ready to move forward again. All right, we're still interrupting Legion's Pull. Now we're moving towards our original marked position where we will prepare to back up again. Keep an eye on your ranged buff. It might run out. You may have to hit a crate again. Real quick, I want to mention the healer will be doing the dance between 2 DPS. If the healer is near you, you have to adjust your dance a little bit and maybe stand in the red to keep the 5-meter distance. Don't kill the healer. And success. Good job, everybody.